Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Dusty Beauts. I'm Brent Clemmer, and I'm with JBELL. We're your hosts for tonight, and we'll get right into it here. Want to shout out our network, OCS Sports. There's lots of great content over there. Go give them a look. Awesome stuff. Lots of podcasts, and what do you want to get into first here, Jesse?
Yeah, I think we can get probably right into the standings. We might as well just get that out of the way. There's a lot has changed, a lot hasn't changed. So we can get right into the Mass Mutual East Division. Yeah.
Alrighty, so in the Mass Mutual East, let me pull up my notes here. The Capitals and the Penguins are both tied with 73 points. And as of right now, the playoff picture looks as though they're probably going to remain in those top two spots, as the Bruins, who are currently in third place, only have a 1% chance of getting that first spot. They could sneak into that second spot with a 7% chance. Not great odds for them there, obviously, which doesn't really matter because it's going to be a 2-3 matchup anyways. The Islanders are looking like they're going to be stuck in that fourth spot. They have a 31% chance of getting up into that third spot and avoiding the 1-4 matchup. So they have a 67. I believe they are all clinched. So that division is sealed from a playoff picture. Those four teams will be featured in playoffs, and as of right now, the Capitals will be playing the Islanders and the Penguins will be playing the Bruins.
This division is going to be a bloodbath, dude. Along with the I believe it's the Western Division.
Yep.
That's going to be bad too. But it's hard to even say who's going to, if you're going to put a poll together or a bracket together. I've done it every year. I don't think I'm going to do it this year on the NHL app just because I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing it just for fun. I like the competition. Me and my buddies all get one going, so.
Well, I would like to get one going, like between I'll do it if we do it within the like network, like everyone on the network. If we all put one together, I would do it that way. But I seem to have like a huge issue with like reality and what I want to happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like,
I mean, you might be a little bit less biased. The Flyers are out of that playoff picture, so.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that now. We will. I mean, we can, but I mean, I don't have much to say.
Yeah, no, rough year.
Save that for Flyers Alley, I guess.
But, so that division is obviously going to be really, really interesting.
I would like to see the bottom four go at it.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Just for just keep playing. But
yeah, the Rangers obviously missed playoffs, Flyers missed playoffs, and obviously no surprise with the Devils and the Sabres missing playoffs. They had really no expectations going into the season, so.
I was a little torn about the Buffalo Sabres. Just because, they're horrible, but obviously I'm from Philadelphia and we love our underdogs, but like, even that was like bending reality a little bit. So,
yeah, actually, I shouldn't have said they had no expectations at the start of the season. There were some expectations for the Buffalo Sabres to get in and maybe even be a contender with their offseason. It was a pretty good offseason from the looks of it. Obviously, it fell apart and ended up being a total dumpster fire, but I mean, it is what it is. The team has 15 wins and 32 losses. That's absolutely fucking horrible.
I still got to put my hat on for that, just to let everybody know. Yeah.
Everybody knows you're a Flyers fan.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, man, you got to go down with the ship. I'll go down with the ship, I guess.
Yeah. So that's about it for that division. There isn't anything really crazy in that division, I don't think.
There's plenty crazy.
Well, with what happened last night and in the past few days, obviously, with the Rangers and Capitals. I just mean from a standings point of view, there wasn't anything absolutely shocking, I don't think.
I guess we can get into that a little bit. We'll just keep going with the divisions, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. Might as well skip. Yeah. Yeah, sure. The Central Division is looking pretty set up, as the Predators are the last team to need to clinch. They have a 98% chance of making playoffs. And as of right now, the only team that could potentially knock them out is the Dallas Stars. But it doesn't look great for Stars fans out there, as there's only a 2% chance that they sneak into that 4th spot. But I really like this division. I think this is going to be the most competitive division, other than maybe the West. I think all these teams are somewhat contenders. It's hard to say who's a pretender right now until we see a playoff series go down. But the Hurricanes are 92% locked into that 1 seed, and from the looks of it, they will be playing probably the Predators, and obviously the Lightning and Panthers would go up in that 2-3 matchup.
I think you're going to be really surprised with the Panthers this year.
Think they're what? You think they're going to be like contenders, or?
I mean, this is going to be a bold statement. Yeah, that's kind of how this is going to go from now on. I love to categorize the Tampa Bay Lightning as a steam team. And I mean, obviously last year they weren't one. I'll give you that, but I mean, they are choke artists.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
they did get swept by Columbus 2 years ago. Ruined every single person's playoff bracket, other than maybe some Columbus Blue Jackets fans.
They're tied right now with 75 points with Florida and Tampa Bay. So I mean, everybody knows. Anybody that's knowledgeable with hockey knows that anything is possible in the playoffs. So I mean, there's a couple teams that are in the league right now, like Washington. Obviously, it's hard to say that during the regular season they're kind of a steam team. Boston during the regular season has sometimes they're a steam team. They just run out of steam. I mean, if you keep the puck away from Ovechkin, I mean, all bets are almost off. But I mean, I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot from the Panthers. My boy Keith Yandel.
Yeah, Jans is obviously a personality in himself, and I really like this division. Personally, from my standpoint, I don't think the Panthers are going to do anything to the Lightning. I got the Lightning taking that matchup in 5, maybe 6 games, just because they have so much more playoff experience. And I mean, Florida made a few trade deadline accusations that look pretty good, but they also lost Aaron Ekblad, which is going to be a huge part.
Yeah, they also got Brandon Montour.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't know if. I mean, he's filled pretty well, but like I don't think you can replace a player like Ekblad.
No, but I think it'll be interesting. We'll see.
Kind of cool because that's going to be a Florida. What's up, Will? That's going to be a Florida versus Florida matchup.
The Battle of the Panhandle. That sounds all right.
The armpit of the United States. But yeah, that division's definitely going to be interesting. I think the Hurricanes are a great team. I still don't think they're going to do fucking anything other than make it past the first round. Yeah, Eric, I do have Tampa Bay making the conference finals. I don't think they're going to win the cup.
I don't believe in Florida hockey to begin with. So, I mean, for me to say that a Florida team is actually going to do okay is like stretching it. That's me being realistic, but that division, I think Carolina may actually take the whole division. I think they're sneaky.
I think it's going to be Tampa Bay versus Carolina in the second round, and I think that could go either way. I still really think with the playoff experience that Tampa has, especially getting Kucherov back at the start of playoffs, is going to make an absolute monster of a difference. And I really don't see anyone in this division taking it over Tampa.
So is it set up that the two teams are going to play each other? Well, obviously the 4 teams are going to go at it, and then do they play someone from the East to get into the final? Is that how it's going to go?
I believe how it's restructured is North plays West in conference finals and East plays Central. That's how I'd have to imagine that works.
Okay. So now that both of those if you would want to talk about how bad the horrible teams in that division are, we could, but
the Red Wings, Blue Jackets, Blackhawks, and even the Stars. They aren't contenders by any means. It's not like there's any surprises on who got knocked out. Obviously, the Stars definitely. They made the Stanley Cup final last year. They really didn't lose a whole lot, but they kind of turned into
credit. They can get some credit. I wouldn't call them an absolute dumpster fire because look what's underneath of them. Chicago and with 60 points, and Columbus with 46, and Detroit with 45. So I'm
just talking from a comparative standpoint from last season.
Okay.
8-2 in their last 10. Yeah, they are. They're looking good, but once playoffs comes, experience does a whole lot for a team,
especially for Bobrovsky. Now that I actually think about that, he's an absolute choke artist.
Yeah, and Tampa has some big bodies. They can throw some weight around, and I can't really think of anyone in Florida that's going to be able to step up if they need that physical presence, like you typically do in playoffs.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Yeah, you're right on that.
So it could go either way. There's definitely a lot of things that can happen in playoffs. That's just my prediction, is that Tampa will probably make the conference final in that division. Obviously, they're awesome all-around team. And I know you don't like Florida hockey, but even from a youth standpoint, Florida's actually been doing a really, really great job of upping their junior hockey presence and youth hockey presence over the past few years. I was recruited by a few teams to go play down in Florida, which I was really surprised by. I didn't even know they had junior hockey down in Florida. So,
Eric just made us a bracket. He just Facebook messaged it to me. Good job, tech guy. Yeah, my long story short, I had a little stint. I lived in Florida in Fort Lauderdale, and I went outside to get the trash and to get the mail, and I was wearing moccasins because it's literally the fucking sun there. And the soles of my brand new moccasins literally came off by the time I got back to my house. So I don't believe in hockey in any state where it's that fucking hot.
That's fair. And arenas obviously have to be fucking cold. And obviously it's not natural there, but I think in the next couple of years, you'll see it a lot more with the Southern teams growing hockey pretty well. Obviously in Texas, they have some great junior programs that are upping their way. And when I played in Texas, their arena actually it used to be a rodeo stadium.
How is that not shocking? That's not shocking.
And and there was holes in the ceiling. And they had one craft hockeyville, so they are putting money into their roof. But the first 3 weeks of camp while I was there were absolutely horrendous. The ice was basically fucking. It's like if at the end of the ODR season in Canada, when all the rinks start to melt a little bit, and it's hard
Chad.
to skate.
Oh, hey, Chad. Chad's watching.
What's going on, Chad?
Hey, buddy. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. That held some weight.
That's all good. I'm good. That's all I had to say about that. I was just saying the southern states are going to be doing way better in the next couple of years because their fan bases are going to be growing and there's going to be more money in the programs down there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I still think and ending the Discover Central division, I still think Florida's coming for someone, but who knows? Do the West?
Yep, sure. The Golden Knights are in first place in the West, with the Avalanche in second, the Wild in third, and the Blues currently in fourth. The Blues are 99% clinched. They are very, very, very close. They could have clinched last night. They didn't. I can pull that up actually. The clinching scenarios were pretty intense last night from what I heard. Obviously the Blues needed to beat the Ducks last night and the Coyotes need to beat the Kings. Neither of those happened. And back to the Central Division, the Nashville Predators did not clinch as they needed to beat the Blue Jackets, which they didn't. And the Lightning needed to beat the Stars, which they did. North Division, we haven't got there yet, but the Winnipeg Jets did end up clinching last night after a 7-game losing skid. So
it's funny.
But yeah, for this division, I think this is definitely the most competitive division. I said that about the last one, but this is definitely more competitive now that I looked at it. The Golden Knights are obviously an absolute monster of a team. Same with the Avalanche. The Wild really, really surprised me this season. And the Blues, they're always pretty good as of late, but that's it's definitely going to be an interesting one with the Avalanche and the Wild playing in the first round and the Knights and the Blues playing as well. So
if whoever gets out of that, I mean, chances are it's going to be, Vegas and Colorado going at it.
Yeah, which is why I really don't think whoever gets out of this division is going to win the cup, because I think they're going to be absolutely beat to a pulp.
Yeah, they're going to be dead. Ryan Reeves. I mean, if Ryan Reeves is healthy, the sheriff is back in town. So
yeah, and it's Vegas came out with a statement saying that they're pretty sure he's going to be healthy for playoffs. So
smart move. I mean, he's one of the biggest bodies in the league right now.
And he's one of the toughest motherfuckers out there too. So
he's mean as shit. I've watched so many interviews with him, and I remember he was on Spit and Chicklets, and Bissonnette basically was stating, "Yeah, he really just didn't like me," and and he's like, "Yeah, I really still don't fucking like you." he's just mean. And you got to be that way, I guess. But
yeah, I that's going to be an ugly conference final. It's going to be very, very competitive. And I'd be shocked, or sorry, not conference final, second round, but I'd be shocked if that second round doesn't go to game 7, barring something crazy doesn't happen in the first round.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be nasty. I'm excited. I'm actually excited. I was listening to a lot of podcasts today because I was at work. And that's what I do. I'm at work. And a lot of people were saying, a lot of Flyers fans, I'm a Flyers fan, but obviously I know other things, that they're just glad that the season's over, and so they can relax and like watch the rest of the other teams play, just because it's going to be that much more exciting. I mean, I'm definitely glad. I would like to see the Flyers in it, but like obviously that's just let's just not go there. But it's going to be really, really, really exciting playoff hockey this year. I'm excited to get back to a normal schedule, but I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll with these divisions. They're going to absolutely destroy each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is definitely the most competitive division. I mean, the Golden Knights are 72% locked into that top spot. The Avalanche could pretty easily catch them. I mean, 30% is not bad. And even the Wild have a chance to sneak up into that second spot. And I don't see that happening personally, but it could happen. It's a 26% chance. Speaking numbers, I hate numbers, but they're in front of me right now, so I'm going to talk about them.
I think the Wild have absolutely surprised me this year. I think I was talking with the Red Light guys about. I think they were talking about something. I was like, yeah, Minnesota sucks, and they're like, actually, they really don't. Because every year they're not really doing much every year. They're kind of like in limbo. They could make a run, or they couldn't, or they're just kind of standing still, not really doing anything. And then, I guess they got rid of their GM, and we got him in Philly. And now that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, they're really surprising this year. I actually do like the Wild. I like their jerseys, everything about them. They're Minnesota. Makes
and
sense.
Their young guys are lighting it up.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I don't see them doing anything in playoffs, is just because the players that are leading kind of the charge for them are young and inexperienced. I mean, obviously they have some old guys on the team, but I don't think they really have anything that's absolutely crazy that's going to make them a contender per se.
Right. Yeah, you never know. Well, not now. They won't be able to. I haven't paid much of attention to them, like I just said, but like they're not going to be able to keep up with Colorado or Vegas. I mean, it's just
exactly.
It's just A for effort, but I mean, come on. I mean, in that division it sucks so bad for like all these. I was going to bring this up at the end. I think I will, but like it really sucks for a lot of these teams that I'll talk about it more. I'll bring it up now, but that really depended on playing these other teams in the league and got a lot of their wins from playing everyone in the league, and now they're playing everyone in their division. I think it's a big eye opener for everyone in their division, seeing that, how hard their division actually is, because, I mean, the East Division is fucking brutal right now. So, I mean, other teams are suffering. We'll get into that later. I just want to bring that up before I forgot it.
Yeah, and the West, like, their lower level teams are not as bad as, for say, some of the other divisions.
Right.
Like, you got the Sharks, the Kings, the Ducks, and the Coyotes. None of those teams are bad, per se.
Well, the Kings are awful. I mean, they have.
They still have playoff contention.
Do they? I didn't even look at that.
They're 99%. Yeah, they're 99% out, but they still do have that chance with that win last night in St. Louis losing. So, I mean,
that also
the worst team.
That also I mean, that also goes along with the thing I was just saying. Some teams needed to play other teams to like get their wins throughout the season, and maybe the Kings fell into that. I mean, Anaheim hasn't really done shit in forever. San Jose has been absolute shit this year. I don't care who you add to your team as an enforcer. It doesn't work in that division when you're not really playing anyone in the division that you would need that guy for.
Yeah, and
I mean, you go fight Ryan Reeves. You see how that ended up. He had a thing with McDermott. You see how that ended up.
Plus, their enforcer, absolute idiot. Sorry.
Yeah. John Scott didn't want to say it, but I'll say it. He's a fucking idiot.
I'll happily say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kings are going to be good in a few years, and as Eric said, the Wild are going to be a sleeper team one year. But I don't think they're going to be a sleeper team. I think they're going to get up there,
out in the open.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a sleeper team. They're definitely going to win something. I don't know if they'll win the cup, but in the next couple of years, they'll definitely be good. Kings are in rebuild. Kings are in rebuild mode, absolutely, but they have a lot of young talent right now that they're going to be good in a couple of years. Give them 5-6 years, they're going to be good.
I feel like they're going to have to make a big decision, though. Like a really big decision.
Like revolving like their older players?
Yeah, like you don't want to get rid of Kopitar. Like you don't want to get rid of Brown.
Tell them those values higher, right?
What's that?
Sell him while he has some value. I mean, he's going to be too old by the time they have time to make another cup run. So,
But who else is there? Who else is there?
Doughty.
No, I mean, like, who else is there to get that's going to replace that void? Anze Kopitar
They don't have to replace
probably,
him as much, but
he's probably one of the most underrated players in the league, only because he's all the way on the other side, and they really haven't done anything for so long.
yeah,
And Eric
West
is one of their
Coast.
fans, so that doesn't help them whatsoever.
Quick has to go.
That's the one I'm talking about. How do
you have to?
You can't replace him, really. I mean,
with Jonathan Quick though, they have to go draft a goalie probably in the second or third round, someone that has high upside, that looks like they're going to be good, and Quick has to mentor them. You can't get 100%. Rid of him.
That's like Carey Price's thing. When he retires, whoever he's with, he should end up with the Canadians. If he doesn't retire there, I'll be absolutely fucking shocked. But you take him and you make him the goalie coach. The same thing with Jonathan Quick. If he's down and out and he's getting ready to retire, you better hire him as your goalie coach, because those two are the two ones. They're the only ones left really that are franchise goalies. They're kind of washed up, but like they're
other than the new guys, but like from that era, yes,
yeah, like the Corey Crawfords and the the Roberto Luongos and those guys. They're almost all gone.
There's Marc-Andre Fleury still, who's obviously still a great goaltender.
He's wishy-washy too, though. He has off nights, and I mean everybody has off nights, but it's just rough. Let me stop talking shit.
I mean, it's a good idea considering he actually did just pass Roberto Luongo for third all-time NHL wins as a goaltender. So congratulations goes out to him. But I mean, kind of hard to shit on a guy that's actually kind of good.
Well, I could do it. I could take a stab at it. I won't, though. It's the first episode. I won't.
He's my favorite goaltender in the league, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, I won't. I'm not shitting on it. I could shit on Roberto Luongo as well. I mean, what has he done?
I mean, carried some very bad teams.
To what?
I believe he was he not with Vancouver when they went to the Cup final?
I will be 100% honest. I remember, wasn't he with the Sharks?
No,
I think he was. I think he was with the Sharks.
Maybe.
I'm gonna look that up because that will definitely.
But that's like Ryan Miller too. Is he was with Boston and they were not a good team, but he also kind of carried them to somewhat having a successful season.
Right.
I believe Roberto Luongo was with Vancouver and then Florida.
You are right. I was 100% wrong. Wait, New York Islanders.
Thanks, Eric.
Wait, where's he at?
It is a very young man's game now.
Eric, shut up. How dare you? But you were right. Thanks, Eric.
Growing up though, I was a huge fan of Roberto Luongo, and I'm not a goaltender. I think goaltenders are fucking crazy, which they are. You can't tell me fucking anything differently, but
I'm thinking of Archis Urbe.
I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I know the name, but they're not.
What's sad about Will's comment is that's absolutely true.
Oh yeah, it totally
a speed game. But until the recent events, Tom Wilson. We'll talk about that later. But I believe there's a huge change coming.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already happened. Guys are like Patrick Marleau, who obviously just broke the games played record. He and those guys like Joe Thornton, I could name a couple of them, but like you're not going to see guys playing past 34 anymore.
Right.
These guys are going to be retiring way earlier just because it's like any sport. The advancements in technology for training and stuff, they're faster than the human body is evolving. The human body can't take that much training that these kids are doing. And like, that's why kids are getting injured. Probably, I don't know what the injury rates are for say, but I would have to say that it's way more than what it used to be.
Yeah. And there's reasons for that, though, and we'll get into that later,
Yeah.
I guess. The North. The North is actually it wasn't it was it wasn't the top of my list until very recently, and I am very interested to see what happens with the North.
I love the North. Obviously, you still have I'm a Canadian, so all Canadian hockey, I have to love it. I'm not a fan of it actually that much in the sense that they play the same teams, but that goes for every division.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs are obviously sitting up top there with 72 points. They have an 88% chance of clinching that first spot there, followed by the Oilers, who are 6 points behind and have a 12% chance of getting up into that top spot. They are clinched for playoffs as well. The Jets clinched last night, as I mentioned before. They have 59 points, and the Canadians are right behind them with 57. The Canadians have not clinched yet. They're still looking to do so. The Flames still do technically have playoff contention as well as the Canucks. But I mean, that's a 1% chance and a less than 1% chance. So sorry to you Flames and Canucks fans out there. Jesse, I know you said that the Canucks were going to win the cup.
That's a bold statement. Yeah.
Obviously that's not the case. Well, I mean,
Ottawa and Ottawa and Calgary are battling for that position. Yeah. Ottawa's ahead of Vancouver. Vancouver dropped down to 41. What?
Toronto is going to go deep and maybe win it all.
Get out of here.
I mean, they have the easiest way to the
I didn't even
final.
see the comment. Will, what do you do? Are you serious?
I
like where that's going. I like
110%
where that's
serious.
going. I mean, I would, to be honest with you, I would love. That's the reason why the North is right now like a lot of people's favorites because there's a lot going on in the North. I mean, you got McDavid's breaking records. He's about to break record. You got Matthews scores every single night. I mean, but McDavid and Draisaitl are unstoppable. There's so many people in the Oilers that have really stepped up this year, and there's a lot of people that haven't. Like Nugent Hopkins, it has not stepped up this year, like at all, and that's depressing a little bit because he was such a bold player. Everyone was looking at him. Darnell Nurse has stepped up, There's a lot going on. The Jesse Palmaveri guy's kind of lowered his fucking standard a little bit, but I mean, you're gonna have these two guys. And the goalie, Mike Smith's been killing it lately too.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Is a goaltender can get hot too and maybe carry you to a deep playoff run. My biggest issue with the Oilers, even though some guys have stepped up for them, they don't have the depth that Toronto or the Jets have.
I would really like to see, obviously my team's out, but, I'm not going to be biased here. I would like to see Matthews win a cup. I think it's deserved, 100%. I mean, it's. I think McDavid deserves it as well.
They're working hard.
If I'm going to be a nice guy, I mean, it really sucks for these guys to be, breaking these records of being as good as they are, and not really, getting paid what they're due. So I mean,
Eric,
I see Vegas.
I'm gonna rip you to shreds in a second if you keep that going.
Oh man,
Vegas or Avs? Avs. One. I'm sorry. No. I explained.
The rip has been done. You can stop already.
This is why it's not gonna. This is exactly why it's not gonna. Oh, all right, Bet. You want me to fucking light you up? I don't think you want this.
Hold on.
You do not want this, buddy. So you think Vegas or the Avalanche are going to win the cup after one? They have to go up against each other in the conference final to even make that appearance.
It's a long road.
Or in the second round, sorry, they have to play against each other in the second round and beat the shit out of each other.
Look at Will's
after playing the Avalanche are likely going to have to play the Wild in the first round, and then they'd have to beat Vegas in the second round. Vegas has to beat likely who's going to be fucking. I'm sorry.
So they're not even. You have to look at it logically. And I agree with Eric's mentality of that, because Vegas, they're like I would like to say they're like the same team, but they're going to beat the shit out of each other if they meet up. And whoever they play, what's the time period? So what's the time period that they get where they get like a week in between or a couple games in between? It's not going to be enough.
It depends but they're going to have to play 7 games probably against each other. I think Eric is too.
Yeah, that I would. I mean, it's good. It's all going to be good hockey. I will say that 100%. It's going to be great hockey, but I don't really see Vegas ever pulling it off. I'm sorry.
I know why you're saying that. It's because they're both in the Kings division. You're a Kings fan.
Ooh.
So your Kings can't do anything. So you just want the people that beat them out to at least win, so that you can be like, oh yeah, at least our division's good. It's not going to happen. Sorry.
There's not enough. Even if they were healthy, I really don't see anyone in that division beating anyone. Well, not anyone, but the ones that are in the North. It's just not. It's not going to happen. It's just not. It's following the lines of being realistic and what you want to happen. Which, like I said, I've fallen victim of that many times. But
so they're likely going to go up against whoever comes out of the North too.
Yeah,
who is. In my opinion, I think it's going to be Toronto. I'm not trying to say that in a biased sense. I think Toronto will end up making that.
The West is not. Hold up. That is not a statement. The West is not faster than the North. Are you insane? But please put that up. Can you put that up? Put that up. I'll put that up. That is such a Eric. I love you.
I think they're about the same speed, but I mean,
no shot. No way. No, they're not. They're not.
But when you have the Golden Knights and Avalanche going up against each other, obviously I think that the Avalanche are a great team. The Knights have a good team too. But if they go 7 games against each other, beating the fucking piss out of each other, I think whoever comes out of the North, it's going to be 5 or 6 games. So they're going to have way more rest going into that series.
I just really don't think that the West is faster than the North. I mean, it could be close, but it's still. I see the North coming out on speed with that. But at the same time, that's not. They got people too, though. I mean, they got Zach Cassie and Darnell Nurse to stop the speed. I don't know. I don't.
And
I would love to support the Vegas Golden Knights because the Sheriff's on there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see them.
Other than Reeves, is anyone going to step up to Zach Cassian if it was the Oilers?
There's a couple guys, but they're not going to make the impact. No, they rely on Reeves for that for the most part. But Zach Cassian can't even hold fucking Ryan Reeves' piss cup. Like
no,
the other guy in the league, Tom Wilson, he can't even. There's no one else.
I would argue that, but
really. You think Tom Wilson is tougher than Ryan Reeves?
I don't think he's tougher, but I think he's a better fighter, like skill-wise.
I don't want to get into.
I think Ryan Reeves has the more natural like strength and size advantage, but I think Wilson has better technique when it comes to fighting.
But then why doesn't it ever end up on his side then?
On Wilson's? I mean, I forget who it was that squared up with him.
I mean Wilson and Reeves when they fight.
Because of the size advantage. I'd rather have Wilson on my team to make an impact.
Wilson won't even fight Matt Martin.
Yeah, but Wilson's he's a rat too, which is very, very big. Like he's like a Brad Marchand that can actually fight. Because he can score goals too.
I'm just not a Wilson fan. That's all.
I am personally.
I agree with the people that said that anyone will like him on their team. Well, fuck yeah. I mean, he'd be crazy to not, but he's not, so I don't like him.
But yeah, you're right, Will. The West does have better defense, but it's not really going to matter when you're going up against McDavid or Matthews.
And I mean, the Oilers' defense is bulked up substantially this year from last year. I mean, last year
same with Toronto,
right? Last year it was if you got past the defense with the Oilers, you scored. Their goalie situation was absolute. It was horrendous last year. And now Mike Smith is pulling it out, but you can't say Mike Smith might just die. He may die off. So there's a chance of that happening. I don't think the Oilers are going for the cup. I'm going to say that right now.
I don't think the Oilers are making it out of the North, but
no.
Because I have it being the Leafs and Oilers, probably maybe Leafs and Jets in the second round, but I don't think either of those teams even step up to the Leafs when it comes down to it. The Leafs are just such a better team in that division, and it's been proven all season. Like when the Leafs care and they're trying, like there's not a team in that division that even stands to them.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted the Vancouver Canucks because I love the comeback story. Obviously, it's unrealistic at this point, but yeah, I would go.
They're in seventh right now, so that's unfortunate. But
yeah, a little bit. 41.
I mean, they do have
no.
How many? Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they're all against Ottawa too, though. I believe all against Ottawa as well.
I think they'd have to win every single one of their games, plus they'd have to do something along the lines of have the Canadians lose all of their games. Maybe not lose all of them, but
Golden Knights 8-2 last 10. It's their what?
It's going to be a
tough series. It's going to be great. I mean, it's 100% going to be great. They're all every division's going to be electric. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I just think there's some matchups that are going to be more aggressive than others. So,
and also in saying that, as of right now, if obviously this can change, but home ice advantage isn't going to matter as much this year. It's really not, because it's likely going to be a bubble, I think. So having home ice advantage isn't really going to matter. And as of right now, I believe that the West has that home ice advantage. No matter basically who makes it out symmetrically to the North Division. So,
right.
So that's not really a factor. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to change a whole lot in this division. I think they're all pretty well locked into what's going on here in almost all of the divisions now. Obviously, there are some playoff races that could end up ensuing, but that's it right now.
So is it basically if the Vancouver Canucks lose one game, they're out?
I think they could lose one, maybe two, but it really depends how Montreal plays as well, and even Calgary.
I'll take. Well, let's look. Wow, now I'm on Bleacher Report now. That's not going to help me at all.
I don't know the exact number of games Vancouver has to win, how many Montreal has to lose, and obviously it can change.
So Vancouver's beating the Oilers 4-2 right now in the first period.
Yeah.
Montreal's they lost 5-2 against the Maple Leafs.
Toronto scored 4 goals in the first period.
Okay, so there that is. So neither one of them have a back-to-back. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I'm smelling Toronto, and yeah, they're playing again this weekend.
Toronto has most of their games against Montreal for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go deep into it, but I think I don't know. I'm smelling a underdog comeback here. I don't know.
For the Canucks?
I think it's going to happen. I mean, let me reiterate my previous. I don't think they're going to win the cup, but I think they're going to get in.
Okay.
It's unrealistic, but I got to throw my unrealistic points towards something right now, because that's basically what the entire Flyer season was this year. So.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to take that, I would 110% bet against you, but the odds just don't look great in their favor. But I mean, anything can happen. I hate the fucking Canadians personally. It's not.
I'm not a
I'm
fan.
not trying to bias here, but I'd love for the Canucks to knock them out. Although Toronto is such a better team than both of them, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. We can always hope, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's all we got for the playoff picture and divisions right now.
Who's this? Okay, all right. Jesus.
Are you referring to the Flyers? Yeah, they are. We're gonna rip on.
Not even gonna. Not even gonna.
But yeah, so in saying that, in news, as of recent, you want to get into the Rangers Capitals thing now, or do you want to save that for the last?
We could do it now. It's gonna take a little bit, I feel.
It definitely can, yeah.
And I feel like the message board's gonna light up a little bit more than, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see here. So the Rangers released a statement a few nights ago, revolving around George Peros and the Board of Player Safety. It was not exactly kind words in the sense that they did not like the way that the Wilson fine / lack of suspension was handled. So, I mean, I can't blame them for that there, but.
Well, I mean, I think you got the whole thing sucked. I mean, there's two sides of it, and I'm not defending Tom Wilson whatsoever. I personally, you know, I would like him to be on my team, but at the same time, he's not. And the last time we played, you know, we have to play them on Saturday. It's going to be horrible. Oh, he's hurt, so I guess we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Is he really hurt though, or did he want to get out of that game so somebody didn't take out his knee?
I mean, they were going to send Sam Warren after him. I mean, the Flyers have some pretty heavy bruisers down there, their farm team. So, but if you look at the Panarin thing, if you slow it down, it looks absolutely horrible. Like it just looks like he's ragdolling everybody, and he's just destroying, you know, every single person on it, which he can do, which he did do, but it just looks worse when you slow it down. When you speed it up, it does look like it's the same thing that happens once a week in the league, like every week.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
and you see it happen all the time. Shit that looks just like it.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it's Tom Wilson, and the dude he's legitimately out there to like destroy people.
And if Panarin didn't get injured, though, it's a totally different.
I mean, did he really get injured though? I mean, it's.
Did they do it to blow up the situation?
He skated. I mean, he skated away. You know, I'm actually watching the video right now, and I'm watching Buchnevich, you know, do his shit, which I personally think was absolutely worse than what Wilson did.
I think so too.
I mean, he left his skates. He intent to harm. I mean, it's basically. I mean, you know, it just looks like shit.
He purposely cross-checked him in the face, which is not.
Yeah, I mean, and he a lot of people that do what he did don't really succeed, and like the guy catches like the glove, or he'll catch, you know, he'll miss and hit him with his shoulder. He caught him straight with the stick in the face.
Well, and the problem with that was Mantha went for a cross-check at the chest level. So his arms he was defenseless, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm watching it right now. It's and that sucks. And at the same time, though, it is hockey, but you can't be biased. And I think the problem with George Peros is that you can't make a decision and you can't make things even. You just can't. But at the same time, with the what he did is he didn't even charge him for Panarin. He just charged him for Buchnevich. So, and then they put the fine on it, and the fine actually, I think, makes it even worse. The fine makes it sound like, oh, you know, just give, you know, it's a $500 fine.
donation to the league.
Yeah, like, what? That's not fucking anything to him. Like, what do you mean? And then we can get into, I mean, the injuries and shit and then stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff happened in the league right after this happened. Like, I think it was the same night the Flyers and the Penguins were playing. And in my opinion, I am a Flyers fan, but Ghost fucked up.
It was right in between them. So there was the
Was
Caps game, and then there was the Flyers Pittsburgh game, and then there was another Caps Rangers game last night.
Right. Okay. So Ghost fucking checks Mark Friedman, which at the same time, the Flyers hate Mark Friedman. He got caught talking shit in the locker room, and it is what it is. I heard a couple other things today, which, kind of make that a little bit more, alive. But, he got caught talking shit. That's pretty much it. We'll bury that. But, he got an open goal net. And he fucking cross-checked him into the boards like late, and then they fined him. They suspended him for a couple games, and they fined him the same exact amount that they did Tom Wilson. So now that's talking that shit. That's the same thing. You got the Crosby Konechny thing, which was Konechny's fault. So you can't really fine anyone for that. There's a lot of shit going on. The Tom Wilson thing has lit the league on fire, and I'm telling you right now, I would be shocked if next year you don't see the Rangers have a huge brute force of we're not letting it's going to be the Broad Street Bullies all over again. We're not letting our guys get pushed around again, and that's just what's going to happen. And you're not going to be able to find them because of Tom Wilson this year.
I mean, and then they suspended Buchnevich the next game.
Yeah. I mean, for one game. And that's basically saying you're not going to touch the Capitals.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. So anybody else that thinks differently is nuts.
And in that game, there was 72 penalty minutes in the first 6 minutes.
Love that.
And I believe it was 141 total throughout the game. And I don't know.
I love that. So
I don't know if everyone saw the picture. I assume so if you're a hockey fan, but the penalty box was absolutely jam packed. The poor little guy in the corner of that with his little laptop or whatever it was recording the penalty minutes was literally squished in the corner.
Yeah,
Tom Wilson's laughing in there. And yeah, so
that's another thing that he did though. I mean, he knows he's untouchable, and it's basically. I don't mean to scorch. I don't mean to scorch Tom. Wilson or anything, but I mean, at what point does somebody say something like, "Look, I'm a Flyers fan. I love fighting. I grew up fighting my whole life." But when does it? So if Tom Wilson can do it, then everybody else can do it. So bring the enforcers back. Like what's going on here? You got the guy flexing in the penalty box. Yeah. He knows he's untouchable, and the reason he's untouchable is because he sells tickets. People come out and they watch to see Tom Wilson beat the shit out of people. In my opinion, that he knows that can't stand up to him.
Yeah, I mean, kudos goes out to I forget who it was that stood up to him and just jumped him as soon as he got on the ice. I really respect that. That was a big team move by him. Obviously, he was probably told to do that, or maybe not. Maybe he volunteered.
Well, that's what he's there for. I mean, yeah, he can score. But at the same time, like, how often do you see him score?
Who? Tom Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, I know he scores substantially, but I mean, that's the only reason why he's still on the team is because he does score. But I mean, they have. I mean, look who they have on their team. They have fighters. They have Chara. He can fight. They have Brendan Dillon. He can fight. He's like the only. He's the reason why the Sharks got Curtis Gabriel and lowered their standards to the absolute sewers. So I mean, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was talking about whoever it was on the Rangers that jumped Tom Wilson.
When that happened?
Like after, like the next game.
Brendan Smith.
Yeah, as soon as
who was hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, but good. That's what I'm saying is good for him. I respect that a lot as a hockey guy. That he was able to have the balls to step up and jump at Tom Wilson like that. I think that's a big team move and really respected.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a different year next year. That's all.
I hope so.
And if it's not, that's really fucked up. Like you think Tom will look at Gary Bettman and everyone else in the league, how much money you're making off of just Tom Wilson. Imagine if you had all the enforcers back. Imagine if that was happening again.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Obviously there is the player safety thing that you have to worry about, but I mean the way they're handling it right now, it looks like they're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean you just can't do what you're doing right now. And maybe on the other side, maybe in the West, that's what they're doing with Ryan Reeves. Maybe he's the Tom Wilson of the West, and they let him do that because he sells tickets, and that's fine. But at the same time,
Ryan Reeves is a bit of a different personality than him, though. Ryan Reeves is the definition of like an old time enforcer kind of thing, whereas Tom Wilson is like the current day enforcer, where he's just an absolute rat that can fight.
yeah, but I'm just saying, just in general, like no one else's name really screams out there. We're not gonna give KG any props. I absolutely despise that guy.
He doesn't deserve any props. He can't fight.
Right.
Has he won an NHL fight?
Yeah, he's never won a fight. I'm telling you right now, he's never. You don't even get me riled up. You just piss me off. But yeah, I mean, it's a different game. But at the same time, you can't say that. Even when your team was sucking back in the day, if you were a bad team and you had some bruisers on the team, and you were losing, say 7-1. You at least kept your pride. You went out there and you bench clear and brawled and did your thing. Nowadays, you can't do that, but maybe it's coming back now. Who knows? In my opinion, it would be smart for the NHL to do that, especially the year that we're coming back into a regular season with all 82 games. 80 was it 84, 82?
82. I'm not sure if the addition of the Kraken will change that now that there's going to be 32 teams, but
right. So I mean. If you were smart, you would come back with a bang, let them fight. You're gonna fill every single arena. If any team, if they announce, that they're gonna start being lenient, they don't even have to announce it. It has to happen. That's all there is to it. If you're smart, you let fighting come back.
From a business standpoint, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the players want it to happen. I don't, And it's not a CTE thing. That's been proven that it's literally 2% of the concussions that happen, and the CTE is affecting players is because of fighting.
Yeah.
Good luck taking checking out of the game. That's just not going to happen.
I can tell you right now, I played up in Canada, our junior leagues, no contact was allowed. Like we had to play without contact. And the type of player I was, it didn't work. I couldn't even play. My style of game was irrelevant because there was no hitting, and it wasn't as fun. Half the game is lining up that guy for a check and completely changing the momentum of game.
I mean, how bad has the game changed to the point where you can get on this point where we're still on? We can get away from the fighting and all that because that's like a broken record. It may not change. It may change. The Rangers get paid. They get fined. I personally thought they were going to get fined. They got fined half of what I actually thought they were going to get fined. They got fined $250,000. I thought they were going to get double that because it was you can't say that shit.
No, I agree, but I think they kind of were a little bit more lenient just for the sense that they were a little bit pissed off. Like they understood why they were pissed off, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. The thing that I just said, you can't say that. It says New York punished for demeaning comments against the league executive in statement this week will not be tolerated. So you can't say anything, and you're supposed to just let it happen. So now Bushnevich gets his suspension, Ghost gets his suspension, and Tom Wilson got fined $5.
Yeah,
But at least George Parrish is one of one of the most well-known fighters of the Ice Guardians era. And you're going to sit here and tell me that he's not getting basically someone's over his head is telling him now that you're not going to handle it the way you want to handle it. This is what's going to happen, and you're going to shut the fuck up. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. So
on more of a positive note for that game, TJ Oshie scored a hat trick in his first game returning after his father passed away this week. Obviously nice to see a guy get up and do something positive, and obviously not a great time for the Oshie family in general, but nice to see him step up to the plate and play well through that.
I like TJ Oshie. It's hard to hate. It's hard to hate the Capitals. I mean, it's starting to get easier now, like when it comes to Tom Wilson, like Chara. But how can you hate Ovechkin and like TJ Oshie, John Carlson?
Yeah, they have a very good team. I don't think they're going to make a run this year necessarily, but they're always that team that could be there.
I don't think anybody's going to party as hard as they did.
No, I don't know.
Just no way. That was amazing. I think that made people like them that much more.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Ovechkin was absolutely fucking psycho. They looked like the Buccaneers did after they won the Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw the video of Tom Brady stumbling around looking like he was a high school kid.
I love it. They're human. They're human too.
I mean, if I won a Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup, I'd be fucking out there on a boat, fucking throwing the trophy around, getting fucking absolutely licked. But
you heard the lady? I think the people, I forget. Yeah. She got mad. What was it? The people that
she was the daughter of the designer, I think.
She got mad.
She got really pissed off that they weren't respecting the trophy. I'm sorry, shut the fuck up.
You just made it. Shut up. You get paid every time the thing probably gets seen on TV. Like, be quiet.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's a fucking trophy.
As Willie Guns would say, know your role and shut your mouth.
Exactly. That pissed me off. I saw that and I literally went, fuck me. Like, this is fucking stupid. This world is so fucking soft these days.
It was shown once. that topic was shown once. It was not. I never saw it again after
I saw it all over social media. But
did you really? I saw it once and never saw it again.
Yeah, it pissed me off, though. I saw that and I was like, fuck off.
Yeah, I knew he was going to like that. What's this? Austin Matthews. What he just did something a minute ago was just posted. First NHL player to reach 40 goal mark in 49 games or fewer since Pavel Bure in 1999, 2000, 48 games. See, that's crazy. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That is what I'm talking about. Oh, backstabbers. Yeah. It's our wrestling podcast on OCS network. Go check it out on Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcasts.
We got
who's the Facebook user?
Just by the way, I believe you have to. What is it? You have to give StreamYard permission so that we can see.
Let me see. I could pull it up. I just gotta find where it is. Hey, Laura. It's Will's wife.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, Laura, you're the shit. Laura's nice. She deals with Will, just like Lynn's deals with me. But yeah.
Yeah, that's Frederick Anderson will return to game action of some sort. He's going to play down on the farm for his for the Toronto Marlies in the AHL. Well, I mean, he's only playing half the game, and it's also a salary cap thing. They can't really bring him back until playoffs because he's on LTIR. So they can play him in the minors, but that's like really why.
So like 6 minutes ago, Philip Deneau was already injured coming into tonight's game. Upper body injury for Philip Deneau, Canadians.
Oh, really?
I guess.
I mean, I get that they're pushing for a playoff spot and you want to play, but
Oh, this could be interesting. Let me get this going. The off-season trade ideas for some of the worst NHL teams. It's going to take forever. I mean,
I have some really good ideas for what teams should do, but I'm not going to get into them right now. That's a whole different episode.
I could just name them off. What is this? Wow. Looking forward to see Cam York. Cam York actually is on the taxi squad. He's probably going to play tomorrow night. Because Ghost is out. I mean,
makes sense.
That's another thing I want to clarify that was said on something that was said on the complex this week. An inside scoop that I stumbled upon was saying that we didn't talk about them yet. You want to throw that up? Throw that up on there. The Seattle Kraken. I'm not going to get into the trades. That's horrendous. Yeah, they're saying that the Flyers are actually looking pretty heavily into eating half of Voracek's contract and letting the Kraken take him. So I know we're covering, me and Brent, we're covering the expansion draft, right?
Yep.
Yeah, me and Brent are going to cover the expansion draft, and I believe Wade from Flyers Alley, and I think Scott. There's a mix up of whoever's going to do it. We'll announce that at some point. Are going to cover the actual draft, but yeah, it's definitely up in talks. The hot talk about that is who's going to take who's going to be not saved, who's going to be up on the block for that.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that, actually, Milan Lucic actually waived his no move clause so that he could be exposed to the expansion draft. Obviously, it's unlikely that he would be taken with his. He's got a pretty decent sized cap hit, and he's not exactly by any means what I would say is someone that would fit an expansion draft. I mean, maybe they do. I doubt it, but he basically said that he didn't want to handcuff the Flames GM and that he does wish and hope that he can stay in Calgary for the rest of his career. But that's some news there. Obviously, it's a veteran move to do that to help the team out.
It's a classy move.
Yeah.
Watch him get taken.
I don't think he will because he said that he wants to stay in Calgary and he's a veteran in the league. I don't think the new team's gonna step into that when they're still gonna get someone decent off the Flames. I think.
If you all don't see it on the screen, the Complex 444 live on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube, and is going on Google. It's on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. They could check them out. Yeah, I agree with that too. I have a golden Knights flag hiding behind all my my Jim Craig jersey. I'm all for the new teams. I mean,
the NHL's making it way too fucking easy for them though. There's no reason. They're getting way too much. There's no reason these teams should be giving up these players for nothing. I don't think. I don't think the Vegas Golden Knights should have they had a very good team. Obviously, I don't think
they did a good job. Too.
Yeah,
I don't like that. Yeah.
They're making it way too easy for these teams to come into the league and be absolute contenders. Obviously, they're doing it for the fans. And from that point of view, I see that from a business decision, but I don't think it's fair to the other teams that are giving up what they're giving up.
Yeah, well, you're also going to see the deals being made there that are we'll give you this and this for you to not take our guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all fucked up though if you really think about it. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of it, but you can't not agree with a lot of the things that come with the expansion draft and the expansion team, and then not get down with the expansion teams. So I mean, I'm excited for the Kraken. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I'm excited for Alaska to get their heads out of their asses and put together a fucking hockey team.
Yeah, they need one. They need
The Kodiaks or something. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You could think of so much shit.
They I think there's a few places that could use an NHL franchise. Obviously the league is getting a little big now.
Sounds like Philadelphia needs a good, franchise.
Yeah. I'm sure you would trade your team for Vegas's right now, but
Think the Kraken will do the same thing the Knights did their first year.
no.
That's a tough. They came out guns a blazing. That's a
Vegas
fluke.
did such a great job of drafting players that were in a situation that they were not succeeding and putting them in a new situation. For example, the prime example of that is William Karlsson. He was a third, fourth liner. And he goes to Vegas and he lights up the league. So
Like Howla. Remember Howla?
Yeah, Eric Halla, yep.
Lit it up there, and then he's kind of irrelevant. I don't even know where is he right now?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Exactly. Like, I think I would say like I don't even want to say Jersey. He's somewhere like that though. He's kind of in an irrelevant team right now. I heard his name randomly the other night and was like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's a good player, but I mean it shows how much situation matters to players. Like some players succeed in different systems, and just because the player's not doing well somewhere doesn't mean you can hate on them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some players that don't do well anywhere they are, and some players are just fucking horrible. Curtis Gabriel. But
I think it's funny that it just always comes up. So he just always comes up.
But yeah, that's I really don't think they're gonna do the same thing. I think Vegas had a little bit of luck and a lot of their coach won coach of the year. He did a great job. I forget his name. But he did a great job.
Wasn't Gallant their coach at one point?
Yeah, Gerard Gallant.
How do you fire that coach?
That was a fucking joke. They literally told him to pack his bags and sent him to the airport, basically.
Well, after what year, though? Like,
I believe it was maybe after last season. Or there's no way they fired him after he took him to the Stanley Cup final.
Right, that's kind of what I was getting at.
But yeah, that's certainly a fucking. I hated that firing. I think he's such a great coach.
He just got picked up somewhere else, didn't he?
I'm not actually sure. I haven't heard anything on that. I don't follow the coaches too closely.
Well, it just pops up every now and then, Wait, I mean, it's big news. I don't think it's that big of news, but it takes its own space up.
Talking about great coaches, do you think Mike Babcock ends up anywhere?
I don't know, man, because honestly, he's starting to get torched up a little bit. Him and Tortorella is starting to get torched up pretty. I don't think Tortorella is back with Columbus next year at all.
The house always wins, Eric. But yeah, Torts is getting absolutely torched. Torts is my favorite coach in hockey right now.
Eric looks like a fly over a fire.
I'm sorry, Eric.
You guys love each other. What the fuck is going on with you guys right now? No, I mean, actually, Babcock. I thought he got wrapped up in that whole abuse shit. Like he was too tough of a coach of some sort. And Tortorella is like, when they're just too honest for nowadays. When John Scott walks into the locker room when Tortorella is the coach and he walks in and says, "Hey, what's going on, coach?" And he goes, "I literally didn't even. What are you doing here? I don't even know that you're here. I didn't know. No one told me you were coming." I think the exact words were. And I mean, he just turns around, and walks away. Like a guy like that is just you don't need coaches like that anymore, especially because not trying to talk like soft or anything, but like people are soft anymore. You know, you can't talk to people like that anymore. You can't
But
expect them to perform.
in all honesty, it works some places, but it doesn't work in others.
It
And
it doesn't
when
work
you
wherever he goes.
I
Now.
I mean Torts, it worked in
Now.
Vancouver.
I mean
No,
now.
yeah, for sure, and I agree with that. But I think there's certain teams in the league that you could put them on that need a coach like that.
Yeah.
I think Columbus needs it; they just won't accept it.
Yeah, I mean, who left? It was
Pierre-Luc Dubois,
Dubois left, and then they got
Patrick
Line.
Laine, and Comtois, was it?
Who?
Like a third line, not a huge part of the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love that coach, that type of coach. That was when I played football. My coach was my dad. You want to talk about a nightmare? Try living with the fucking guy that's your coach. It's an absolute fucking nightmare. But you know, some people like that type of shit, but people nowadays just don't like it. So I'm gonna assume that that's Will's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, personally, I've always loved having a coach that's a little bit tough and old school, just because I feel like it. For me personally, it works better. But some of these fucking softies can't handle it.
Well, how many? All right, so we've seen you in action, and one day when we will get it up on the screen so people can see it, because that could just be fun because you're you're absolute dick on the ice.
Yeah,
I love it. I expect definitely needed people. People definitely need to see you torching that one kid. That was amazing. But I don't think there's many of you left. But the fact that you are as old as you are and you're doing it means that there's some hope. But yeah, but those type of players, it's back in the day. It was you knew what you were here for. Nowadays, it's just it's not like that. So I mean,
yeah,
that type of coach is just not really needed right nowadays because of that type of upbringing and such. I don't want to get on to like things like that, but it's just kids are soft nowadays. They don't fucking understand.
yeah.
Like you can't even smack a grown man's helmet. Like, grow the fuck up. Come on. What do you mean?
No, it's a joke. And the stuff with fucking Mike Babcock, he some of the shit that I heard about him, it was excessive. It wasn't necessarily like smacking someone on the helmet. It was a little bit deeper than that, I think. And he was just kind of an asshole, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't work. I agree with you that.
I'm not saying it's wrong, like in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't work right now, and you're gonna get torched every time you do something. I mean, if you sneeze wrong, someone's upset about it. So smacking around guys and telling them they suck. I mean,
then again, though, if a player's not performing and they're getting paid millions of dollars to play hockey, I don't hate smacking him across the helmet or yelling at him or telling him he sucks. I don't. Some players need that.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm not defending them. I just it's just not going to fly. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely a lot less that goes these days that actually is okay in the world, which bothers me, but I won't get into it too much because I'll end up getting myself canceled.
Well, it's a good thing I own the network, so I don't think you're going to get canceled anytime soon.
I won't get canceled by you, but I might get canceled by just anyone listening.
Yeah, your schools. You don't want to do that.
But yeah, that's pretty well. I think we covered most of the news and obviously all the big stuff going around the league this week anyways.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good first jump at this.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment.
Yeah, by the way, everyone listening, we literally planned this today. We've been planning this for a while, but we weren't going to start until a week before playoffs. And then we wanted to talk about the Tom Wilson and
Mother's Day happened.
Yeah.
Mother's Day happened, ruined everything.
Yeah, so we ended up doing it tonight, and I think it worked out pretty well. If you guys liked it, I hope you guys did.
Yeah, it should be at a better time next time and not at 9 o'clock at night. So hopefully we got some good recognition from it. But if you guys do definitely like what you see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, Old City Sports, go to oldcitysports.com and you'll see all the shows on there. I think we got to add a couple too because you're doing more. So,
yeah, I got my live show, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah, so you got Flyers Alley for Flyers fans. I'm the host of that. You got Backstabbers Wrestling Podcast with Badass Willie Guns and Phenomenal Tony Style. You got the Complex 4for4 Philly Sports Show for all the Philly fans. 3-Pointer. I'm not going to try to remember all their names because they're very new. Brent is the host of that, covering the NCAA and the NBA. And Brent's show during the day, it goes on every day, dropping the mics with Brent Clemmer. I don't know, will you have a time set for that?
Yeah, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Eastern. Anyone wants to come out, I'll talk about whatever the fuck you want. I cover every sport. I try to get a little bit in depth, but if anyone wants to come out and comment, and I'm willing to get into whatever you want me to. So,
right. So, I guess is that it for Dusty Beauts episode 1?
I believe so. Thanks, guys. Cheers.